Hi, welcome back to not another devlog of Astro. On more or less of a whim, I decided to participate in the 2022 GMTK Game Jam with my brother. If you don't know what a game jam is, it's basically a short window, 48 hours in this case, where you have to make a complete game from scratch based on a theme. This year's theme was Roll the Dice, which to be totally honest, I was not a fan of at all. I really wanted to make a game that was all about the theme, and didn't just want to fill a side-scrolling platformer or a 2D dungeon crawler with dice-themed art. The major brainstorming idea that we stuck with was that the dice were physics-based and the player could alter their path. We then had to ask the question, why were the dice being rolled? And settled on simulating craps, a popular gambling game which is all about the dice roll. Very happy with this idea, we just had one more problem. Dice are really small, so how is the player going to have an effect on them? At this point, we decided that the player was a bug, a ladybug to be specific, and we also decided to make the game in slow-mo to capture the perspective of a bug. From this, we finished the brainstorming period and created the name of the game, Ladybug Luck. Immediately, I got to work on the movement system. Since ladybugs fly, I figured I would use a lot of my knowledge from Astro development to create a simple free flight movement system. The challenge was creating good collisions with the dice. See, alone, the dice are just boxes, and so they can be simulated with excellent realism. But when you add a player to the mix, all immersion breaks down. No joke, I spent more than 2 hours just trying tons of different solutions, such as making a sphere and then a capsule collider around the dice, which would transfer modified forces to the actual dice, but all of these had flaws. Also, the bug could simply move under the dice and act as an immovable object. After a lot of wasted time, I found the most stupid but surprisingly good solution. I simply added a manual cap to the velocity of the dice. Obviously you should never do this, but it was the kind of quick fix I needed in this situation. Also, to fix the player moving under the dice and acting as an immovable object, I added the splat mechanic, where if the player is hit by the dice in the direction the dice is moving, it will kill the player on impact. Meanwhile, my brother made this epic craps table in Blender, and this is literally his first time in Blender, so give him a round of applause. We went to bed early in preparation for the long day ahead. Getting up at 7 a.m., we got right back to work, grinding out all the cosmetics and visual appeal of the game. This greatly boosted my morale, since just throwing in a bunch of free assets and messing with the lighting really gave the perfect gambling ambiance that I was after. I turned the ladybug into an actual ladybug with some animations as well. Then I got to work implementing the spitballs. It's called the spitball since ladybugs have saliva, and it's actually pretty realistic compared to real life ladybug spitballs. I also added the ability to time scroll, which is so cool to watch because it comes out super realistic and it helps impatient gamers get to the next round. It was getting late and we suddenly realized that we had no gameplay, just a sandbox. I then attempted to speedrun the entire game of craps. See, I know you're probably thinking, I don't know how to play craps, but it's cool that he does and is making a game about it. But the truth is, I don't either. Our process for creating the game logic consisted of my brother skimming the craps WikiHow article and relaying what I should code into the game. Luckily, my epic gamer skills pulled through, and we even implemented things like the point, pass line, and the don't come bar. We then added some UI and let the player place as many bets as they would like to add some strategy into the game. We also let them control the amount of money they wanted to bet with the scroll wheel. Okay, so now it was 2 a.m. and we only had 12 more hours before the jam finished, so we tried to do everything else you're forgetting about that makes a game. This included music, gameplay sounds, UI sounds, a start menu for when you boot and pause the game, custom fonts, control labels in the UI. We even added a custom cursor. With 49 minutes 53 seconds before the deadline, we had finally submitted Ladybug Luck, and then went to bed right after. Yeah, it's not the best looking game. The GitHub has more commits than Penn State, and I can't even begin to know what this guy is doing. But at least we finished it. So here's the final result.